Signs of the times. Hands up. Civil rights or civic resurrection. Unless you've been living under a rock somewhere, chances are you've heard of the Mike Brown killing and the subsequent rebellions which later ensued. However, in the off chance you are unaware of this travesty, we will recount the basics. The murder of Mike Brown occurred on August 9, 2014, in Ferguson, Missouri. Brown, an 18-year-old so-called black teen, was fatally shot by Darren Wilson, 28, a European Ferguson police officer. The circumstances of the shooting and the resultant protests and the civic unrest received considerable attention nationally and internationally. Brown was said to have had his hands up when he was shot by Wilson. As a result, the hands up symbol has become a sign of protest for those who feel that the shooting equates to murder and that justice is still not served, as Wilson has never been tried in a court of law. Early on, the hands up sign met with resistance from the more radical elements of protesters, and the commentary of the sign by some of this sector is, the symbol of hands up suggests weakness and is a sign of surrender. It is looked upon as a passive symbol and suggests nonviolence. However, in this brief video, we will offer an alternative symbolism for those who may be of this opinion. Number 1. Though this symbol is utilized by so-called law enforcement, it does not originate with police organizations. The hands up sign belongs to antiquity. Ka is another word with multiple meanings. Its most common meanings are soul or vital energy. The Ka is the part that composes our personality, our self. We feed our Ka in life by living in Mat, according to www.kemet.org. Tuwa or Dua in Kemet represents to pray or praise. To the ancient Moabites, it was the 5th letter in the alphabet, symbolizing man and praise. Noble Ali can be seen giving this sign in Kemetic Moabite fashion. This posture is also related to resurrection in Kemetic adept science. This symbol was adopted by the Greeks and the Romans. Western Freemasonry has also adopted this sign, which represents distress. A Mason gives this sign when in need of assistance from a fellow Masonic brother. Not only is this sign an ancient sign representing spirituality and praise, but it can also be used as a solid defense in an altercation. There are even martial arts developed around this position, and therefore it need not be a passive position at all. This can best be illustrated by the following pictures. Though it is an ancient symbol, it was resurrected and developed organically among the people, where the protests began, and has since been adopted around the world in support of the plight of so-called blacks in the U.S. In a time when the world is in solidarity with our struggle, mistreatment, and movement, is it wise to trifle over the symbols of the movement? We are in a time like no other. The things that we see have not been seen for some time. Likewise, the sentiment held by many in the world today is not unlike that of the recent past. Therefore, we must be united amongst ourselves and find a way to respect all sectors of the struggle. Also, Do our due diligence when it comes to our culture, signs, and symbols. Many portents of today we attribute to Europeans who's oppressing us with the science that they misappropriated from so-called black civilizations. We must be aware of this and take our signs back without any apologies and use them for what they were intended. The hands up position is a sign of the times. It represents prayers of past and present for justice and deliverance, echoed from the walls of Kemet to the streets of Ferguson. It also represents resurrection of a civically dead people to a position of action. Unity at all costs. The world is watching. Peace, love, all the above.